Hey everybody, what's up? Good to see everybody. Yeah, guys, yeah, I'm sorry I haven't done one in a minute, but you know how that goes. I've had a lot going on in my life, guys. Wife had surgery and everything else that goes along with that, and that is just what it was. Um, but regardless, I'm here now, and I did do an update on Mark's channel last night on Marfugal News, or Marfugal TV, I believe. There's two channels there. You guys know who Marfugal is. If you don't, please go check them out. Adam and Dex and all the good mods over there, Rip and Ilea and Trinity. They're always there, always positive people, and just a really good group of people to be around. I'm a moderator over there now also, and it's made my life better. Honestly, I get to talk to people that people that actually care. So anyway, we will actually let's go ahead and move on to the space weather here, and then we'll talk later if we want to. If you guys want to stick around, somebody give me a 5 for 5 in there if you could. I think I'm okay. I don't want to assume it, but somebody give me a 5 for 5 if you could. Oh, did you hear me, Jack? Echowood's here. I got this too. I added this too. If somebody makes a comment, you guys want to see it? You can. All right, cool. Hey, Miss V, good to see you. Well, thanks. Thank you, Ali. I appreciate you. I really do. And everybody else, guys. I mean, you guys are just awesome people. I know I haven't been here for a week, and you guys are still coming back in it. I really do appreciate that. And I am going to get more consistent here, especially as things, progress as far as space weather and things like that go. Hey, Miss Hermit, good to see you. Okay, so, guys, there has been some stuff going on. Not a whole lot of things, and that's the other thing. I really haven't had a whole lot to come on here and just, give you guys a really good show or a good update, because I hate to just pop on, and maybe I will from now on. Maybe I'll pop on for a minute or so and just let you guys get some just basic space weather updates. But for the newer people, I like to give them a stream because it helps them understand. So. But anyway, as I was saying, guys, we've had some geomagnetic storming going on, but it was from a CIR. And if you guys don't know what that is, here Space Weather actually sums it up really good. Spaceweather.com. If you guys don't know this channel, they're in my description. Please go check them out. It's called a co-rotating interaction region, and I explained this over on Marfugal. Whatever, Tommy. Anyway, as we're looking at this, the CIRs actually give us geomagnetic storms quite often, and there's not a whole lot of people that actually come out and say, "Hey, the CIR caused this," when it actually is what it was. And the reason why they don't is because they're guessing. Okay, they really truly are. That's why they don't just say it, because it's really, once you know what it is, you understand what you're saying when you say it. So, and what it is, guys, you guys can read this. It's right here. CIRs are transition zones, and you guys can come over here also and click these links. See the blue here? If you click on that, it'll take you to give you definitions. I mean, they do a really good job over here. So, anyway, CIRs are transition zones between streams of fast and slow solar wind. They contain shock waves that can spark geomagnetic storms. Okay, so you have a solar wind stream moving at one speed. You got one behind it moving at another. And what happens is the stuff in between gets all piled up, and it starts having shock waves within that area. So when the first stream hits, this is where people get confused, because when it hits, it's just the initial solar wind stream. And then after that initial solar wind stream is kind of almost out of there, kind of on the back end of that one, you'll get a shock wave. Bam! Then Earth will get hit. And then guess what? It's got a third hit coming because the solar wind stream behind it. So that's why these CIRs can cause, one of the reasons why they can cause geomagnetic storming. Now, typically these CIRs, unless there has been CMEs and other fast-moving solar wind along with this, will only get you into low-level geomagnetic storms. Okay, and this one only put us into a G1, which is why I didn't run out here and just tell everybody about it. Okay, You know, it's newsworthy and we need to talk about it, but it wasn't one of those like emergency or whatever, this kind of urgent reporting going on there. That's why I didn't do that. And we haven't had a whole lot of that, and it's actually kind of crazy to think that, because even back here on the 7th, this is back on the 7th of December. Look at all the sunspots. These are all facing Earth. There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and they were not small. These are big ones, okay? These are not, again, like what I call babies or whatever you want to call them. But here's a black and white version of what I just showed you there. And we'll go ahead and we'll zoom in just a little bit here so you guys can get an idea. You guys got to understand, multiple Earths fit inside that. Okay? But, so you're probably asking, well, why didn't we get a bunch of flaring? Why didn't we get CMEs fired at us? It's facing at us. This is something we've been experiencing this sun cycle that is a little, from in my opinion, it's a little bit less active than what I thought it would have been in the aspect of CMEs getting fired at us. The sun has stayed active, okay? But it hasn't been active at Earth. It hasn't been shooting anything our way. And it is one of those, it's a, you know, it's kind of a mind bend to try to wrap your brain around that as you're looking at this picture right here. There are a lot of sunspots, guys. This is a lot. And it's going to stay like this, and it has stayed like this. There's been a few times this sun cycle where we've got, you know, or this year during the sun cycle, where we kind of went down to almost none. We had one at one point. I think we even had one day where we didn't have anything facing us, which is kind of a rarity in this part of the cycle. Okay? Hey, good to see you, Jammer. Hey, Mark, what's up? But anyway, guys, this is a lot. So why hasn't it been doing anything? Well, the biggest reason is the fact, like these big ones over here, they're stable. You guys have heard me talk about this in the past. And when you got, these have negative and positive polarities. And I guess I could go to, it would help you guys understand if I did. I wish I had pulled that up earlier. Give me 1 second, guys. I'll pull it up and let it load. While it's loading, I will, what we'll do is we will go check out something else. So this thing is loading, and again, like I said, right here, a lot of sunspots. But this is what the sun looks like right now. This is extreme ultraviolet from the GOES satellite, from our perspective. Hey, Axe, good to see you, bud. But as you can see here, guys, this is the 195 angstrom. So it's only that one part of the light spectrum. Okay, they do that so they can see specific gases. That's what you're looking at. You're looking at a specific gas on the sun. Now, if I was to show you the sun in a different light angstrom, which I'm going to here in just a minute, you will definitely see how it looks different. Look at this pic, and then look at this. Okay, now, it's not really true representation there, and I'll explain to you why here in just a second. This is back on the 30th of November. This one here, and I'll show you, I'll give you guys an updated one here over on SDO also. SDO is a satellite that is in geosynchronistic orbit, and we are going to go there to show you where this satellite is at. All you got to do is go to the SDO site, Solar Dynamics Observatory. It's a satellite with a bunch of cameras and telescopes and stuff on it. A lot of data collection, all that stuff. This is where SDO lives. Okay? It stays over this same part of our planet all the time. I believe it's 38,000 miles, if I'm correct, in the air above us. I believe that's the distance. Don't quote me on that. I need to find that out. But it always does this figure 8 pattern, and there's reasons for that. But it does rotate with us around our axis. So, but it always keeps its eye on the sun. This is called geosynchronistic orbit. When any satellite, any kind of satellite, or even like a rock, a moon, any of that stuff can be in geosynchronistic orbit. It can. It's just an object that stays over the same area as we rotate. It doesn't move, right? But anyway, because of this figure 8 pattern, it reduces the amount of time the Earth is in between the satellite and the sun. So that's one of the reasons for the figure 8, and there's other reasons, but this is where they keep the satellite. So just so you know from what perspective I'm talking to you guys about here. Sorry, I got real life, guys. It's okay.
Hi.
Yeah. That's my daughter. She says hi. Anyway. So as you got this, you know, this is the 211 angstrom. Now this is back on the 30th. Now let me explain to you guys why I'm showing you guys this one. This is one coronal hole. It started one of those wind streams we were just talking about. But check this out. See the second one developing right in front of you? So what I'm saying is I'm going to pause it right here because it's going to let you guys understand the CIR a lot better. I was just talking about this area in between the solar wind stream, right? 2 solar wind streams. Well, guess what? You see this area of the sun? When we were connected to this, that was one solar wind stream. We disconnected, or however you want to put it, and we had a period where we weren't getting any increased solar wind, just normal ambient solar wind, right here from this part of the sun. And then, as time went on, we connected to this. Okay? That's the second solar wind stream. What I'm saying is, this is back on the 3rd, right? The second one. When did we get the geomagnetic storm? The 7th. Time frame fits right in. Okay, 3 to 5 days is when we expect stuff to get here from the sun, right? So, to kind of sum up what I was saying there, this is where the first stream came from. This is where the second. This is where all the particles and stuff build up and causes shock waves and higher dense particles and things like that. So when those things hit us, that's what you're seeing here. So hopefully I explained that well enough you guys have a better understanding of what a CIR is. And it doesn't have to come from coronal hole streams. It can come from whatever space weather, and it could be a CME catching up with another CME. Okay, they've actually dubbed that as a cannibal CME, but it's not. They don't combine into one. It really is almost like a CIR. It's in the aspect of you got denser particles that build up. That's all you're it's really all we're talking about here. Okay? So that's what caused this geomagnetic storm back on the 7th. Okay? And it wasn't a big deal. It just wasn't. That's why I didn't come on here and just like be blasting it out there. But we have other things happening. We've had a lot of eruptions on the sun. And as I talked about over on Marfugal last night, we cannot continue to dodge all that. It's just not going to happen. It's not a matter of if, it truly is a matter of when, guys. Okay, it truly is. And what you're looking at here is the Discover data. And this is solar space weather conditions. And this is density here. So what are we talking about as far as density? Well, it's normal. But back on like the 7th, when we took the geomagnetic hit, guess what? It was up to almost like 80 for a minute. But yeah. So, yeah, it's just, whatever it is. Now, the BZ here, guys, this is the angle that we talk about. If you just want to look at it in simple terms, we look for -6. Okay, if you don't even really want to try to remember what the BZ actually is, because I understand some of this stuff is not easy to understand. Okay, so just remember when you look at -6 here, that's what we're looking for. If that happens, that means we're open enough to where we're going to be able to take some pretty good hits if we're having space weather at that time, and typically we will be. A lot of times that's what will cause that to happen. But as we get going on here, you can see the phi angle also flipped at the same time that this went into negative position, right? And what's the phi angle? It's the polarity of the solar wind. Okay? The solar wind itself is plasma. Okay? What's plasma? It's a charged gas, which means it has a polarity. Positive, negative. So when that flips, when that polarity changes position, that means the phi angle flips. That means the polarity of the solar wind changes, and it can jerk on our magnetic field pretty good. So if that happens, sometimes we'll go into storm level also. I did notice with this one little hit here, it really wasn't a big hit, because look at the solar wind speed. Everything is normal here, right? But because the polarity changed, let me show you this. The Aurora, look at the Aurora forecast here. This happened. So it allowed more geomagnetic activity in, okay? And what happens here is they got an increased Aurora show up here. They probably weren't expecting that, just to be honest. So if we push play here, you're going to be able to see it. And we'll let this thing load here real quick. Won't take but a second. Usually doesn't anyway. Doesn't take a whole long time here. But let me pause it. See how low the activity here is? As we go through, you got a little bit of a burst, and then, hey, Becca, good to see you. And then you got a definite increase with yellow showing up here. Okay, so right now, as we speak, they're getting Aurora. And, you know, an increased Aurora than what they normally would be seeing. So, and the reason for that, I just showed you, was the phi angle flip, most likely. Okay? Because none of the other conditions are really opened up to really show us anything there. So the phi angle, moving up, you know, back and forth here a little bit, probably destabilized us enough, and it allowed enough particles to spew in that it interacted with the oxygen and nitrogen molecules around our poles, and that caused the Aurora to increase. Okay? Or it could even actually cause cracks, but that's not what I'm seeing here. I'm just saying that actually can happen. So, anyway, now this is the geoelectric field. This is not magnetic. This is electric. This is the conditions at the surface. Now they do this with the USGS also involved in this. So you got NOAA and you got USGS tag team in here, and they do this because we know that space weather affects earthquakes, and they're trying to find out and try to pinpoint it and make models now to try to help them forecast earthquakes in the future. That's what this is for. But this is showing space weather's effect on our electrical grid. Unnatural electrical components like transformers, your wall sockets, any of that stuff, right? It's at the surface. So when this thing is showing an increase, typically it's from, we'll see an increase in space weather, and that's what I just showed you with the Aurora. That's what's happening. So watch what happens here. You're going to see it. It's going to light up just for a minute, not very long. Right there. See that? See how long that lasted? Not very long. Now, still kind of ongoing, but if you take it back to what I said here, look what happened here. The phi angle flipped. So that's probably what caused that. And and that's just me looking at it and giving you my opinion. Other people might have another opinion what's causing that right now. But the Aurora model here backs me up. The data here backs me up. So, I mean, there's really no reason to say, hey, and at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. We're not in storm level or anything like that. Now, this is our magnetopause. This is our magnetic field. The sun's off to the left, and we get solar wind from left to right. Obviously, it comes from the sun. This is our bow shock. That's the place where solar wind meets our magnetic field. That's first point of contact. Okay? Oftentimes when we're taking big hits, you'll see people come on here and say that our bow shock was down. I assure you guys, our bow shock was not down. So what I'm saying is the fact that the bow shock's not going to go away, guys. If it goes away, there's only two things that can cause that. Solar wind has to go away, which would mean the sun wouldn't be there at all, or our magnetic field would have to be completely down, and that's not happening. Either one of those happens, you're not going to have to ask me if there's anything wrong. You're going to know it immediately, okay? You're not going to have to come to YouTube to look. You're just going to know it. So when people say the bow shock's down, please do a little bit of research on that and ask them why they think that. That's my suggestion when people ask me, well, what should I say to people like that? First thing, don't be rude to them. They could not have known. Maybe they don't know. I didn't know this. I had to be corrected on this after I made multiple videos talking about our bow shock being down. Just saying. So yeah, and that is what it is. I'm just gonna leave it at that. But let's see here. Okay, where do we want to go next, guys? Where do we want to go next? Oh yeah, by the way, I trust my moderators. So anything that's going on, I see people getting timed out and things. Yeah, I trust them. So there you go. I think one of what I'm just not even going to address it. It's not even worth it, you know. Anyway, so here you go. Here's the two coronal holes that actually cause the geomagnetic storm. Now, let me back this off. I'm going to change the date. I'm going to come to current, and we're going to take a look at some current conditions here. So let me do that. And I encourage you guys to go to these websites and do the same. Notice how there are no coronal holes right now. Okay? There might be some forming, but what you're going to see, you're seeing little pops, right? Any little pop that's happening here has a chance of coming our direction. Now, is it going to cause a big deal? No, not unless there's a big pop. Okay? So I just want to say that. There's nothing to be fearful or anything here on this at all. And it's like I tell you guys all the time. You know, we don't do fear, period. We just report the information, and it is what it is. We look at it for what it is, and we move on. We got to prepare for however you want to prepare, but as long as you're aware, you're not going to be afraid. And I get this, you know, with what I talk about here, and with like what Mark does, and anybody that reports on this kind of stuff. It does seem as though sometimes we put it across and there's no other way to put it, and it sounds like it's a fear thing or even just a negative thing in general. Well, it's not. Okay? Let me explain to you why. If you guys ever thought back to the time you were the most scared in your life, I guarantee you, most likely, that one story you have of being scared so bad was what I call a shock scare. And that's like when somebody jumps out around the corner and like jumps out and scares you, or, you know, just something so unexpected it shocks you, right? Well, the fact that I'm on here giving you guys information is getting rid of that. Okay? That's what that does. So now when things actually do happen, you have the tools and you have the mindset, hey, yeah, we were talking about this. I think I know what's going on here a little bit. I'm not so scared, and I can react in a more calm way, and you'll get things done better. You'll make better decisions. Okay? That's the mindset around that. So understand that. And that goes true for what the other channels I was just talking about. Okay? We all have to, that's what we're doing. We're raising awareness, is all that it is. And hopefully I'm doing it in a positive enough way that you guys can see and you guys can get something out of it and learn. And, you know, I hope I do a good enough job on that for you guys. And I know sometimes I don't. I get it. And I've changed my channel around to accommodate you guys as far as doing all the space weather at the beginning. That's exactly what I'm doing here. So, anyway, so let's go over here to seeds. Now, this is LASCO C2. Okay, what this is a satellite that sits out in front of Earth by about a million miles closer to the sun. Okay, here's Earth, here's the satellite, and there you go. Now, should be banned folks that call you fear-mongering in chat. Should they? You know, usually I let them attack me. Okay, as long as they're not attacking somebody else, let them stay. They can attack me all day long. That's fine. Sometimes it will actually spark good conversation if they're actually being real about it, and I can explain to them why I do what I do without them just going straight to name calling. If it's vulgar, it's out of here immediately. Okay, there's no warning or nothing for that. If it's vulgar, it's done. Any of that kind of stuff. But if they're talking bad about another channel, that can't happen here either. I don't allow that. It doesn't bring anything good over here at all, period. So, but they can attack me all day long as it's not vulgar. If I see it, sometimes I'll address it, sometimes I won't. But that's a good question. So thank you for asking that, because I haven't clarified that in quite some time. Anyway, so we got seeds. We got this satellite here is always looking at the sun right out in front of us. It orbits with us around the sun, but it always stays closer to the sun by about 1,000,000 miles. So it gives us a good perspective. It's from our view, our vantage point, right? So if we go back here, I can show you what we call a sun diver or a sun grazer, however we want to play this. I mean, we can play it however we want to here. Let me back it up to the right day here. There it is. Sometimes they're hard to see. This one isn't so much hard to see. It just isn't in the capture very long. So let me watch right here where my cursor is. Right there. See that? Okay, I'm gonna leave my cursor. I'll slow it down as we get closer to it here. Okay, watch right here. Right there. See that? That's what we call a sun diver or a sun grazer. It does not look like it made it to the sun. Looks like the sun ate it up. Most of these will not make it to the sun. Okay? Even if they're sun divers. They may dive into the sun, but the sun usually burns them up before they get there. Okay? They can be little small meteorites. They can be asteroids. They can be comets. They use the same name for all three. Okay? They're sun divers. Right? But so every once in a while you get a big one on here. It'll show a big tail. I mean, some of these are pretty dramatic. They take some pretty good photographs. This particular satellite has captured thousands of these since it's been up there. So that should tell you how much stuff is hanging around in our little old solar system we got going on here, right? I know people don't think about that, but that's the truth. It is pretty, you know. And also, there was an article, study that was released about dust in our galaxy and in our particular solar system. And it's increasing. Okay, it's not if it's going to happen, when it's going to happen. The increase of dust is now here, and it's probably going to get. It's probably going to get more and more, is what I'm trying to say. Now, I'm not going to go into, hey, Kenley, I'm not going to go into what all that means as far as how that's going to affect the sun. Where's the dust coming from? Why is it doing this and why is it doing that? That's a whole nother show, okay? If not multiple ones. But just know that that's happening, and it will be coming our direction, and some of it's here. But you'll see more and more dense stuff come our direction. And I look for more studies to be happening. On this, I look for more articles to come out, and we'll just have to pay attention to it, you know. There's a lot of theories out there that are supported by some pretty intelligent people, and and some very intelligent people don't agree with those theories, and it always causes issues and stuff. But the fact of the matter is, there's conversation being had, and that's a positive thing. Okay. So we got to be able to listen to everybody, even when we think we're 100% right. And I think that's where we get the best truth from. I really do. We learn the most from that when we're able to just lay down our pride, our ego, and all of it. Just let it go. Listen to both sides, and maybe it's a combination of both that ends up being the truth. Other than that, what do? Well, we don't do nothing but do what we do, right? That's why I don't get really upset and stuff anymore like I used to when people would call me names like fearmonger, things like that. Call me, just nasty names. But my skin's gotten a little thicker, and I understand. People that, I just tell myself in my own head when that happens, that when they say stuff like that, especially if they're angry enough or just have no accountability, which is more likely the case when you can just type it into a chat box. I happen to think the people that do those kinds of things are very negative. So maybe they need some positivity, and that's why I don't go negative at them right away. Because I'm telling you right now, there's a couple people here that started that way here, and are now, I know of 2 of them that are now my mods. So just understand that. That's why I do that. That's why I operate the way that I do, because I understand how things can look. But I don't have to sit here and be a punching bag either, and there's times that I don't. So Just understand that. And anybody out there that's wanting to, cause problems or whatever, do not mistake my quiet and my lack of addressing issues as weakness. Okay? Because believe me, it's a lot harder. It takes a lot stronger person to keep their mouth shut until they got something thought out and ready to say. Because then things don't get misunderstood. So don't take that as a negative for somebody when they're not talking or addressing your negative comments. Okay? Most likely, they're just loading the barrel. Just know that. Anyway, so, earthquakes. I'm not the earthquake guy. I say that 1,000 times a day, probably. But here are your earthquakes. I wish I knew more. I am learning. But, like these right here, you can kind of see how they follow. They almost always follow the plate boundaries here. They really do. The fault lines. It's easy to see anybody that's looking at this stuff. There's volcanoes here in Hawaii. Obviously, there's going to be earthquakes there. We know that that's an issue right now with the eruption of the big volcano there. There's just things going on, and we've had some earthquakes in some pretty odd positions lately. We had one over here, I believe. I think it was Bolivia or something over here. I mean, it's like way out of the way a couple days back, and it was significant. It was like a 4 or something, I think. Kind of crazy. I push you guys to the other channels that talk about earthquakes. Ron, Emergency Management Associates, Dutch, and everybody else. Everybody has their favorite. Everybody has their not favorite too. And that's what I'm saying. That's why I say everybody listen to everybody, and that's why I don't allow negative talk about other channels. Because just because they say something that might seem nasty or even wrong to you, maybe it's not. It might not be wrong. So that's why I don't let people go back and forth. So, anyway. Now, I did want to show you some more of the eruptions here on seeds, because these things are happening, right? So let me go to the previous day. This is on the 7th. And you got eruption there. Let's go to the 8th. Okay, boom, 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 boom. I mean, they're happening, but they're not coming at us. There was one that was possibly could be coming at us, but it's just not. And also over here, let me show you this. And what this is, we'll go to today, which is the 10th. He's talking about this really, really concentrated, like, just column of plasma that got shot out from the sun. This is rare, okay? I've seen it before, but you're seeing a really small, like, column of plasma, really concentrated, shooting off the sun here. It's pretty rare to see that. And if we were like right in the middle of that, like it getting hit dead on, that definitely would probably put us up into some storm levels. So, but anyway, that's what it is, Oh, goodness. Okay, so, yeah. So if anything else happens, guys, I'll come out here and let you guys know. But I did want to point out here, Lifeboat guys, please come over here and check us out. We're trying to get to help to as many people as we possibly can. And, it's up to you guys to help us. That's the only way we can do it. So I really do appreciate anybody that's come over here and at least check this out. Do me a favor, just come over here and just look and listen to us. We do a live stream. It's about addiction, recovery, and being sober off of anything. Just living your best life. And we don't judge people, and it's just a really good environment. It's really, really starting to, affect people in a really positive way. We've gotten people a lot of help. So if you guys know anybody in addiction, please get them over here and check us out. It's called the Lifeboat. It's 3 words. Okay, Lifeboat in our language is 1 word, but we broke it up into 2 because it's the lifeboat, not the lifeboat. You know what I mean? So it's the boat of life. That's kind of how we look at it. But anyway, please come check us out. And here's another new channel. I'm not sure whose channel this is. Anybody knows whose channel that is? There's a turtle and a hare in there. I don't know whose channel that is. Just kidding. It's Aaliyah's channel. Check it out. It's a tortoise and hare sanctuary. She's starting this up. And I'm pretty sure that she's doing some pretty good stuff with, like, locally and stuff with this. So here you go. Check this out. If you could, go show her some love. Hey Dex, what's up, brother? Good to see you, man. That's Dex J. That's my brother from another mother over on Marfugal. Most of you guys know who Dex is. I would assume. Good to see you, man. Thanks for stopping in, brother. I really appreciate you. But yeah, if anybody else, oh, hey Jammer, what's up? Kinley, good to see everybody, guys. You guys are awesome. But please go check out these channels and go check out Marfugal, guys. I know, and this is what I say all the time, guys. We can't forget to promote the people that promoted us, and that's just the God's honest truth. We have to continue to support each other. That's all we can do in this, especially in this genre, that whatever genre we're in. I don't even know what we want to call ourselves. It's such a big community nowadays. But I can tell you this, that, you know, if it wasn't for the support of them here on Wages World, I wouldn't be nowhere near as big as what I am. If it wasn't for the support of the smaller channels of my channel, okay? Rip, Aaliyah, you know, just on and on and on of people who have channels that have talked me up some over here too. The smaller ones, you know, under 1,000 subscribers. Guys, we got to pay it back to them, pay it forward, and keep moving with that. And we got to bond together when it comes to these kinds of things. And we'll continue to grow and continue to do good, positive things. Axe, same thing. There you go, brother. Guys, get up there and check him out. Him and his wife, telling you, Axe and Nacho do some good music. Good music up there in Canada. And they do some funny shorts and stuff too. So go check them out. You know, and again, I would shout everybody out, but you guys know I can't. I got too many of them now. Too many people that I love and too many people that I watch myself. But all you guys got to do, guys, seriously, I don't hide my subscription list. There's Alaskan Prepper, aka Heather Joy. Guys, if you don't know her channel, you need to. She's doing, she's actually going to try to go live on the days that we don't on the lifeboat. And she definitely would love to have some. She does a really good job. She does a live stream. So she's talking to you guys and stuff too. Me and Tommy have been guests over there. It's been a really good thing. It's a brand new channel. So go show her some love. She got 64 subscribers. I don't know how many do I have here right now? About 280. Let's give her 200 more subs. Hop over there real quick and go sub to her channel. Please. And then come back Wednesdays and Thursdays to her channel. I think is when she's going to be doing live streams. She'll probably do videos outside of that too. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But please do. And again, she's helping with addiction. She's been in recovery herself for 14 years. So you're going to get good information. Okay. And me and Tommy are trying to be as supportive as we can for anybody who wants to try to jump out on this. Okay. And I just can't tell you. And there's Lisa Hall, awesome, one of the awesome mods over at Marfugal. See, that's what I'm saying, guys. I could just keep going here, and that's, you know, I love everybody. Hey, Pagan, what's going on? See, that's what I'm saying. But go give her some love, guys, over here, aka Heather Joy. We will put this link in the chat. I thought I did it already, but we'll do it again. Okay. But yeah. So anyway, guys, anything else happens, space weather, I will be on here. That's the main goal of this channel. You guys know that. But come check out the other channels I showed you, especially the ones there at the end. But we're just trying to do the best we can here, guys. So if you guys got any ideas of what you guys want to hear about space weather, especially when it's quiet and I have time to explain things, you know, like, you know, when we're not having big time space weather stuff, that's the time where I could come on here and really show you guys and teach you guys what I've learned and about this. So if you guys have anything specific you want to talk about, drop it in the comments below, and I promise you I'll try my best to come up with something for you. At least get you to somebody that knows the answer to your questions. Okay? So anyway, guys, I am going to go ahead and pop off here. Love all you guys. God bless. Yahusha saves, and yeah, you can drink this Kool-Aid.